Okay. Good morning. Today is Tuesday, May 24th. I'm Christina Dillabo, Director of Communications for the Desert Southwest Conference. You are watching Tuesday Talks, a weekly Tuesday conversation, notification, collaboration meeting with church communicators. And I'm just going to go ahead and dive right in. So the first item I want to cover is that we are running interviews for the communications assistant editor position next week. So if you know anyone that is interested in that job or someone that you would like to recommend, please share the job posting link with them ASAP, and I will include that in the follow-up email to you today. The next item is about, well, lots of stuff about annual conference, lots to catch up on. First, I did have a clergy person ask me about if we were going to have a worship resource available this year for the Sunday of annual conference. And I checked in with the different conference committees and groups that have done that in the past for us. And as of right now, there is no worship resource that's being developed for that Sunday. And my guess is it's probably because this year we're not having annual conference on that Sunday. So your clergy will be available to do worship as usual. The next item is a reminder to please send your annual conference mission project offering to Randy Bowman at the conference office if you haven't done that yet. And send an email to Billy Fidlin, that's BFIDLIN at dscumc.org with your church's offering numbers, the total offering that you're turning into the conference. Billy Fidlin needs those numbers so that she can report our conference-wide totals during annual conference. Then the hotel reservations link, I found out that the link is no longer working. And so we're figuring out, our facilities coordinator, Dina Reed, is working with the hotel to see if they can provide a working link. But she's guessing that the reason why it doesn't work anymore is because it's past May 18th. And the contract was that they needed to provide a discounted rate through May 18th. Then any registrations that happen after that date are not necessarily going to be discounted. They have no requirement to be discounted after the May 18th date. So I'm going to send you the hotel reservation number so that you can call to make a reservation, but it is posted on the annual conference website. That's dscumc.org/AC. Let's see. And then speaking of registration, there's 2 days left to register for annual conference. That doesn't mean that people can't register after the deadline. Observers certainly could. The big deal is if you are a voting member of annual conference, you need to register by May 26th. So that's in 2 days from now, so that we have your information and we can produce voting credentials for you. It's a unique ID number for every clergy person and every lay member to annual conference. We need that to be able to vote. And so if you are a clergy person or the church communicator and you want to try to follow up to make sure that your church's representatives have their voting ID, you can email Lori Davalos. She's the annual conference registrar, and her email is ldavalos@dscumc.org. Send her an email and let her know, hey, I'm from this church, and I want to find out if our pastor or lay members to annual conference are already registered. It would be very helpful if you include their names in that email request, and then she can look it up and let you know if they're registered or not. Then you can follow up with them and let them know there's 2 days left if they haven't registered. Okay, I got a question today about registering for the laity session. So if you're clergy and you're hearing this, or you're laity and you're hearing this, same situation applies. You don't have to worry about registering for the clergy session or the laity session, which happened on June 8th. I believe they are both scheduled to happen at 10 a.m. Yep, from 10 a.m. to noon on June 8th. Both of those sessions, we take the registration information and automatically register depending on if you're clergy or laity for each of those sessions. I know for clergy session, clergy are required to attend. Laity session, clergy session is closed to just clergy, but for laity session, you could have other people attend. So I spoke to our annual conference what is she? Alberta Farnsworth, our conference lay leader.
Okay.
I spoke with her and she wants to make sure that it's open to anyone that wants to attend. So observers, friends, family, whoever can attend the laity session. So I will be posting a registration link in there soon. We're still working out details on whether that session is going to be a meeting or a webinar. So I can't create a link just yet. But if you're thinking that you might want to invite somebody else, feel free to send me an email to communications@dscumc.org and let me know so that I can respond to you when the registration link is ready. I'll just email you the registration link. Otherwise, I will be sending a Tuesday Talk little note that the registration is now open, so you can go ahead and register people on your own. And the laity session is free. That doesn't cost anything if you want to just have someone participate in that.
I have a question on that.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Are you going to, you mentioned it was going to be a webinar versus a Zoom session. Is that going to be recorded? I have a conflict. I'm going to miss about 20 minutes of that.
Yes, thank you. The laity session will be recorded. I don't know for sure. So here's the other thing that we're checking in on. Basically, our annual conference lay leader needs to check in with the scheduled guest speaker, and I'm not remembering her name right now, to find out if we have permission to record and post her recording where it's public content, or can we record it and send the recording link to just those persons that registered, or just make it available to our churches, things like that. It's her property, whatever it is that she's going to be sharing with everyone. So she has every right to not make it publicly available. And so, I don't know yet exactly how it's going to be available, but I'm 90% certain that it is going to be recorded and it will be available for our lay members to annual conference. I just don't have 100% details on that just yet. Thanks for that question. Yeah, anything else? Okay, then the next item is, so fun is one of the annual conference values this year. It may have been a value other years, I don't know, but I know we're paying attention to it this year. So just looking for ideas. It's not my responsibility to make it fun. Everybody on sessions is supposed to be looking for ideas on how we can make it fun. And I'm thinking, geez, well, we've got people in person and people online. That's a whole other hurdle to making things fun. But there might be some really cool ideas. And I'm assuming that as church leaders, you guys have had to do something like this before, whether it's worship or a meeting where some people are in person, some people are online. So that's why I thought I'd ask for some ideas. I'll share with you that we do have some giveaways ready to go. We have some t-shirts that are branded with the hashtag BUMC brand hashtag. And we also have a Mevo camera that we got for free because of our Vimeo license, and it's not something that we need at the conference, so we're able to give it away to churches. So what we'll do, so we have giveaways, and the idea that we have right now for those giveaways to make them random drawings would be related to having people review the new website design and provide feedback. We'll also have a place where people can enter their feedback about communications training that they're wanting to see in the future. What else? And I think those are the only two things. Am I forgetting one, Sherry? Yeah, okay. So those two, what I'm thinking about is maybe we could do a photo contest. So our new website's going to need new pictures, and we always need local church images, whether it's for stories or publicity materials. So I'm asking our website developer for ideas of what type of images we might need for the new website. But that's another ask of you guys. What might be a fun photo contest? What do you think? Some themes for that. Yeah, it's tough to come up with ideas like that, right, on the fly. How about with your experience? What do you think would be a good fun thing to do for annual conference? Or even if you want to suggest something like, just don't do this, this would be terrible, it's not actually fun. I don't mind hearing those too. All right, well, if you think of any, please email them, email your ideas, and I'll share them with the annual conference sessions team, and we'll see what wins, what doesn't win. All right, the last item I have was a question from one of our churches. They wanted to know what program allows us to download free images to be used for flyers and other things. So I've shared a couple of these sites, actually I think most of these sites before, and I'll include the actual links in my follow-up email, but pixabay.com has a lot of free, copyright-free images that you can download. Just be wary that they also include on their site, I think at the very top, there's a banner of Shutterstock images. So if you end up using one of those are probably not going to be free, and they definitely are copyright protected. So watch out for that. Make sure that you're selecting only from the Pixabay images if you're looking for something free. Canva.com includes some free images, and the ones that aren't free, I think they're still only $1. So be sure to create an account with Canva.com. As a church, you're a nonprofit organization, you can apply for a nonprofit account, which gives you access to like the pro materials. It's still the same cost for the images. It's either free or $1. So keep that in mind. But as a pro account, then you can have, I think it's up to 10 individual users on that account, and you can collaborate, share files. And so it's kind of a nice thing to have, especially if you have a team of people that needs to provide feedback or needs access to those graphics. Another one is the UMC Digital Library. I'll include that one. This one is from Archives and History. So if you're ever looking for, if you're going to do a, what are those things called? It is, oh, I'm drawing a blank. It's where you ask questions about history, and it's kind of a fun game. What is that called?
Jeopardy.
Jeopardy, yeah, sure, it could be Jeopardy. I'm thinking of something else, but I'm just not, I'm blanking it. Trivia, yes, thank you. So maybe if you're doing a trivia and you wanted an image to go with it, or a trivia on an image, you can use the UMC Digital Gallery that has our General Conference Archives and History images in there. And churches can use those images, whether it's on your website, publicity stuff, newsletter article, your social media, free of cost, copyright free. There's typically somewhere where you have to enter in there who it is that's wanting to download it, what church you're from, where you're going to post it, but that's not a big deal. Same thing goes for the UMC Asset Bank. That's another one. That one has latest and greatest images. So it could be a mission trip that happened, I don't know, wherever, some remote location, or even in the United States. There's also going to be images there of major meetings. So if there's like the judicial council meetings, there's probably some images of that. So check that out. I will provide the link. And then of course we do, the Desert Southwest Conference does have a Flickr account. It's flickr.com/photos/DSCUMC. Our churches can use images out of that. And other agencies like the news service, United Methodist News Service, also has a Flickr account. So you might also find images there. But if you grab them from Flickr, it may say that they are copyright protected. So those images are very likely to also be in the UMC Asset Bank, and they've got a great search feature in there. So I would stick with the UMC Asset Bank for that. Then the last two that I have, man, a lot of resources, huh? The last two I have, it's a site called wpastra.com/free-stock-photos-websites. This URL, which I will include in the email to you guys, was provided by David Topping. He recommended that one as a great site for website images. And he told me about one other one. I'll just read from his email. He says, you might already know this, but there's now a WordPress plugin for Unsplash that creates an option in the media library to add images directly from Unsplash. Local churches with fairly active websites might find that useful. So Unsplash is another site that offers free images. Sorry. And I'll include the link to that. Well, no, I don't know which plugin that is, so I'll have to do some research on that one. But when I find it, I will include that in my follow-up today. Do you guys have any other recommendations or scary stories? Stay away from this site. No?
Those are always good too.
Yeah. It is so important to make sure that your images are copyright free. One short scary story that I have from years ago was that one of our churches had used an image that they found on another church website, and it may have even been a UMC church website. And so the assumption was, well, I found it on a church website, so it's copyright free, right? And so they were found through some, I don't know, bot search or something. And next thing you know, there was a lawsuit against them. And it was something like, I want to say it was 15,000, 20,000. I mean, it was quite a bit of money because they used this image without purchasing it, assuming that it was a copyright free image because it was on a church website. Don't make that assumption. Always do your due diligence, do a Google search for that image, maybe contact that church to find out where did you get that image, to see if it's copyright free or not. If that church says, I'm not sure, or, oh, we got it here or whatever, you can go ahead and use it. Unless they own that image, they don't have the right to give you permission to use that image. So just keep that as a rule of thumb, always check to see who took this photo, who created that illustration, and ask that person or that company if you can use it for free or buy it. So that's all I have. Yeah, go ahead, Jim.
I had one a positive type of thing. My pastor was discussing a video that I think Carla had put on the West District newsletter, and that was very good. It was a video montage of all the churches in the West District. And as it turns out, I think we saw part of that in the pre-conference briefing. So I think that was a very positive way to approach that. In fact, we want to show that in our church here shortly if we get the okay to do that. Another problem I had was over the weekend that I tried to register for a lay servant class, and it took me to a dead link, and I reported that to Christina, and I probably should have gone to Carla too, but it turns out the class was closed. And we really probably need to have something in there that shows us that it's either closed or it takes us to an error message. I was a little surprised that they didn't have a wait list on that class too, because there's no plan B then when you do that.
So thank you so much for remembering to bring that up, Jim. So this is a great example of, unless someone contacts us or me to ask for something or let us know that something's broken. It could be left undone for a very long time. And Jim had some great ideas about definitely the wait list idea. So I've shared your ideas both about, can we do a different message when the form is already, registration is closed? Can we show a registration is closed? You know, here's where you can find the next set of classes. Or better yet, I like the one of including a link where registration is closed. If you would like to be on the wait list, click here to enter your information and we'll contact you if there's any last minute cancellations. So both great ideas, both provided by Jim. You're probably going to see that changing pretty soon here, because I know they're starting to create some new registration forms for, I think it's going to be for classes in the fall, but it's going to be ready before July 1st for lay servant ministries, or is it lay servant speakers? Lay servant ministries. So I, pass that along. So yeah, just a great reminder to let's stay in communication. If you see something that's not right, you have an idea for how to make it better, please email us so that we can work on that. Okay, thanks, Jim. Thank you, everybody, for joining me today, and I hope you have a great rest of your week. I will be on vacation starting tomorrow night, but I will be right back here in time for next week's Tuesday Talk.